Hello, investors. It's Don Vandenbord, Chief Investment Officer with Revere Asset Management. Today is Monday, August 4th, 5:52 p.m. Eastern Time, coming to you from St. Augustine Beach, Florida, with tonight's Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video. Market state, we're in an uptrend since the follow-through days on April 22nd, 23rd. Check the trend gauge over here. A little bit of improvement today. Market leaders bouncing back nicely after some sell off last week. Green arrow there. Short-term trend stays yellow, but the sub-hour arrow flips from red to green as the S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100 regained their 21-day moving average today. We want to see a second close above that tomorrow. Medium term, we had some shakeouts below the 50-day moving average last week, but all major indexes back above that level, as well as the long-term 200-day moving average. So what happened today? Strength right out of the gate. A lot of the expectation from things I read over the weekend was for further weakness after Thursday and Friday's weakness. Didn't happen. We gapped up 0.65% on the S&P, 1% on the NASDAQ 100, put in the lows within the first 30 minutes, and basically higher highs and higher lows all day with a strong close. Here are the numbers. 21 over 21, up an average of 3.43%, 19 up, one neutral, one down. Turbo 12 up an average of 5.4%. Four new names in this, so it's a little bit skewed, but all 12 higher. The Big Eight up an average of 1.84%. The RG8 up an average of 2.25%. S&P 500 finished up almost 1.5%. Equal weight S&P up 1.2. NASDAQ 100 up 1.85. Equal weight NASDAQ a little bit lighter. Dow positive, mid caps positive, and Russell 2000 up over 2%. Global 60/40 up 0.9%. Our flagship GROTECTION portfolio up 1.39%. TurboTection up 1.42%. Let's get into it. We'll start with the S&P 500. You can see very clearly last week's move below that green line. That's the 21-day moving average. After spending 68 days above it, we got one close below it, but the bulls showed up, taking it back above that level today and right into the declining 8-day moving average. That's the key level that we'll be watching tomorrow. We want to see that regained. NASDAQ 100, same situation. Long trend above the 21, one close below, regaining today. Let's go to equal weight S&P. This is continues to lag, still below the declining 21-day moving average after a undercut and reclaim of the 50-day last week. Dow Jones Industrial Average undercut and reclaimed the 50 last week, still below the declining 21-day moving average. Let's check out the mid cap index. Undercut and reclaim of the 50 and the 21 last week, below the 21-day moving average. And the Russell 2000 actually closed below the 50 and 21 last week, but regaining them both today, still below the declining 21-day moving average. Let's go to some inter-asset correlation. The VIX had a strong move up on Friday, retracing a lot of that today, sitting on the 50-day moving average. US dollar had been on a run last week, pulled back Friday. Tight range today near the bottom of Friday's range. But we did see strength in the precious metals. GLD, second straight gap up 0.6%. Big strength in gold stocks, up 4.75%. In fact, breaking out of a flat base here. Silver, still below the 21-day, holding its second gap as well. Bitcoin, sitting right on the declining 21-day moving average. The stronger of the two big cryptos is Ethereum, regaining the 8-day moving average today. Let's check bonds. Broad bond index price slightly higher. Long bond TLT also slightly higher, meaning yields drop slightly. There's the 30-year yield down a touch and the 10-year down a touch as well. That's our inter-asset correlation. Let's hit the tail of the tape. Couple of things to point out here. News today, basically bulls buying last week's dip, but after hours today, our second largest holding, Palantir, is up about 4%. This was one of the first stocks out of the gate. after the follow through day, and it has been a leader. And after a nice run, it's gapping higher. We are certainly going to be paying attention to whether or not this gap is maintained after hours pre-market and during the session tomorrow. That could be a key to the overall strength of the market, because if you can't make money in the leaders, you can't make money in the market, as Jesse Livermore informed us all. Keys coming into today: S&P against the 8 and the 21, regain the 21. Qs into the 8 and 21, regaining the 21. Russell against the 50, regained, and leaders acted well against the indexes. Our day count from down 2 to up 1, we're basically at a zero count on the 8 day, as it's basically right on it, and the slope of the line is still down. But back above the 21E, and the slope of the line turned back higher as well. This brings our expectations to instead of neutral to positive with the move back above the 21. We want to see a second close above that level. S&P ATR is rising, but still below 1 at a 0.78%. Not a lot of standout individual sectors today because there was broad strength. 10 of the 11 spider sectors higher. Software, GDX, and retail also outperformed the S&P. To the downside, XLE, that's energy and crude oil. No portfolio changes today. We got stopped on some things on Friday, still kept our beta above a 1. We want it to be above a 1 if we're above the 50-day moving average. So we checked that box. GROTECTION adjusted beta 1.08. This is not correct, minus 1.68%. It's minus 5.43%. Balance at risk, turbo, 1.28 adjusted beta, 4.28 balance at risk. So bottom line on the day: broad rebound with strong leadership. S&P and NASDAQ 100 regaining their 21-day moving averages. Keys tomorrow: that 8 EMA, we're back above the 21 on the NASDAQ and the S&P, NASDAQ 100 and S&P 100. We want to regain the 8 to get back above all of the 4 key moving averages that we track. Russell, can it hold the strength? And I mentioned Palantir. We want to see if it maintains its after hours earnings strength. All right, let's get into the individual stock lists. We'll start with the Turbo 12. The last 4 of these are new this week. So we'll start off with the 8 holdovers. None of them are held in portfolios currently. KTOS trending higher, earnings later next week. Solar Edge sitting right on the 21. That has earnings later this week. Symbotic, nice day today, higher high, earnings on Wednesday. Viking, undercut and reclaim the 21, regained the 8 today. TSSI, nice, approaching that 30 level. SMCI pulling back after a breakout last week. Galaxy regaining the 8, big candle here after touching the 21 last week. These 4 are new. Actually, no, Sezzle is a carryover, regaining the 21. Hinge Health was on the list before. They've got earnings tomorrow. Big move today, up 7%. Sanmina, huge candle on earnings last week, digesting since then. American Superconductor, big move up on earnings last week, digesting since. And AV undercutting and reclaiming the 21 last week. Let's go to the 21 over 21 list. We got 4 new names on here. We'll start off with what we own. Palantir, higher highs, and you can see up another 3.5% after hours. GE Vernova continuing to act well. Hood undercut and reclaimed the 21 last Friday and today as well. Nvidia still a month away from earnings, but regaining the 8-day moving average today, and MP Materials making a higher high. Reddit, very high on our list to get in, making a higher high after its big volume earnings gap last week. VST, higher high. Credo continuing to act well. SoFi sitting on the 21, volatility after an offering last week. Amphenol making a higher high. ANET, earnings tomorrow. Nice recent move, sitting on the 8-day moving average. AppLovin trying to round out the right side of this cup base. Dash breaking, making a higher high, earnings later this week. A Lab, a higher high earnings tomorrow. AMD consolidating a 2 day pullback. GDX, we already discussed. DraftKings hanging tight right above the 21. Four new names here. Rocket Mortgage, very nice reaction to earnings. And if rates come down, people are going to be refinancing. Carvana, big gap up on earnings, pulled back right to the 8 day moving average the last 2 days. Seagate, a big winner, then went sideways, undercut the 21 on earnings. Buyers came back in after that. And Cloudflare, a little bit of a shake on earnings, but looking great as well. And that will wrap it. As always, like to hear from you. The email is don@revereasset.com. The phone is 855 Real Wealth. That's 855 732 5932. If you're interested in becoming a client, click contact us on our website or email dan@revereasset.com. That's my partner, Dan Stewart. Both our flagship GROTECTION portfolio and the more aggressive cousin TurboTection, run by Ted and Connor, are designed with a dual mandate, that is to grow assets during uptrends, protect them during downtrends with common sense rules that we discuss every night on video as the most transparent advisor in the world. That's right, in the world. And with that, I will wrap it for Monday, August 4th. This is Don Vandenbord with Revere Asset Management, telling it like it is. Thanks for listening and have a great day.